Hey, what's going on, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to talk about your spiritual awakening process and how it's impacting your friendships. You might find that you're starting to outgrow a lot of your friends spiritually, vibrationally. Your values are changing dramatically. And even though there might be this time investment, and even though you might have a strong sense of loyalty and devotion to this friendship, you can't help but notice the dissonance, the growing disharmony, and the fact that even though what you had was perfect in its time, you are changing, you are moving on, and the friendship is starting to weaken. A lot of us outgrow friends because we start to grow spiritually so quickly. I know a lot of you right now are hanging on to a friendship that you know is not right for you because it makes you feel sad to move on. And what I've learned is that just because there's grief doesn't mean it's not the right decision. Right now, I'm in my home in Las Vegas, and we're going to be leaving for the last time. We're moving in like 2 days. And the other day, I was driving out of Las Vegas, and I was looking at the mountains, and I felt a tremendous amount of sadness. I could have cried. I felt so sad as I reflected upon the beautiful chapter. Now that this chapter is ending, I look back and saw all the good, all the fond memories. Nonetheless, it is time for me to move on. And I'm not going to let that grief stop me. I'm going to allow it to pass through me and run its course. And in the past, I would let grief determine, I associated grief with, this doesn't feel right, because grief is such an uncomfortable feeling. But what I've learned is that it's very fleeting. And if we can allow ourselves to grieve the loss or the old friendships fading away, we can start to sense into the new. With every door closing, as you know, there's a new one opening. But a lot of times we get stuck in the grief, stuck in the resistance, stuck clinging on to what we know no longer serves us. And we don't breathe and allow that situation and energy to kind of move through us so that the new can come in. Sometimes, on occasion, there might be something else keeping you kind of bound to a friendship. And maybe it's a friendship you want to leave. You're ready to move on. You're done grieving. You're like, why can't I get out of this? Why does this person keep on looping back into my reality? If that's the case, then there's a lesson you need to learn, you've yet to learn. There's something you need to do. And it could be a variety of things. It reminds me of my friend, Priyanka. I ran a retreat recently in Sedona, and she's one of the friends of mine that helps me run them. And she's going through all this. In fact, that's what inspired this entire video. And she was saying exactly what I said. No point of reiterating the exact same situation Priyanka was going through with a friend she had for many, 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 many years. It had long fallen away, but Priyanka could not stop but continue to think about this person and kind of fester at times. And she realized just letting it go wasn't enough. There was something else there keeping her like energetically bound to this relationship, even though there was actual distance, like an actual distance between the two and time. There was the cord connection, if you will, as people say. And Priyanka said, you know what? For the longest time, I allowed this person to kind of, treat me in ways that I was not treating them. There's an imbalance there. And she was debating this whole retreat. She was going back and forth wondering, should I say something? Should I express my truth and basically tell this person what I've been feeling? And she was like, well, it could be messy. It could have this reaction. But she concluded that I've tried everything else. I've tried forgiveness. I've tried writing letters and burning them and letting them go into the ethers and sending prayers off. And there's something there, and I think I need to speak up. And that was Priyanka's lesson in this situation. What's the lesson keeping you bound? You have to ask yourself, maybe you're being too passive. Maybe you need to speak up. Maybe you need to see your part in the equation and forgive yourself. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not here to say that, but I'm saying if someone keeps circling around and it's just creating stress, there's something you're doing, something unresolved within yourself, not them, within you, that needs to be resolved. And if you can just take the focus off of them for a moment and look within, I bet you'll find it quite easily. Now, another thing that detours people from doing this, same thing for me, is you wonder, it's like, okay, I'm outgrowing these friends, but geez, I'm not gonna have anybody. I don't wanna be alone. That sucks even more, arguably. The void, that's what happens a lot of the times when we let go of something, whether it's a friend or a job or anything. As a lot of you spiritual folks know, you let go of something, something new comes in. However, we're living on earth and things take time, and sometimes there's this void of nothing. For me, the void lasted longer than I would have preferred, we'll say. I let go of all my high school buddies, for the most part. I stopped seeing them, and thank God I had my wife and my children. But for years, we went through life where I felt alone. I needed my boys. I needed friends. It's great to have a wife, but that's different. It's beautiful and a blessing to have children, but that's different. I needed my friends. And I was like, man, honestly, I went so long without friends that I just started to like create this narrative that I'm not meant to have friends. I'm a spiritual guy. I'm meant to be a light worker, outcast, yada, yada. And then I had sort of come to some sort of like half-assed peace in my head about, I'm just not going to have friends. The void, the loneliness, it's no fun. It's lonely. It's like no one likes the void because it's lonely. We're social creatures. We don't like to feel lonely. There's an unnaturalness to it. And one day, during this time, I had this past life regression, this QHHT past life regression. And in one of the lives, I found myself like on a boat writing a book. And the practitioner kept asking me questions, and the whole life was very alone. I had nobody the whole life. And I was like speaking to her. I said, this is okay. I'm good. I'm good being alone. And eventually we came out of the session and she's like, Victor, it's still good to have friends, you know. It's still good to be social, you know. So my point is, it's not natural that we are alone our whole life. We will feel like something's missing in our life. And even if you've already let go of your friends and you're finding yourself feeling alone right now, my message to you is that there's a lot to be learned in that alone time. Sometimes we need to clear off our schedule and detach to an extent where we can go within ourselves and find out who we actually are. Who am I? What kind of friends and relationships do I want? What do I like? What's my passion? What's my purpose? And as we go through this, like what I call the hermit phase, is self-discovery phase, and come to greater awareness of who we actually are as a soul, as a person, as a character, as a vibration, then we start to go through life with that vibration. That vibration which is more or less influenced by our past, by our conditioning. More of our true frequency is now being spun out into life, into the cosmos. And at that point, you can just feel it. New people start to come in faster than you can imagine, like a freaking wave, like a gust of wind. Friends, soulmate relationships, new acquaintances, new opportunities, business partners, the person who cut your hair you'll resonate with, everything. And it's like, oh my God, your life starts to become filled with people that you just love to be in your reality. People you resonate with truly. People that exhibit the qualities you've been looking for but thought were not around. You gotta let go. You gotta go through the inner work. You gotta let yourself be alone a little bit. You gotta find out who it is you are. And if you do this, which you will, because that's where life is taking you right now, then mark my words, there will come a day when your life will be filled with badass people, awesome people. And it doesn't matter all the cool spiritual awakening benefits you achieve along the way, it's the people. It's the people that will make your life rich. It's the people that will make your life abundant. It's the people that will allow you to experience those higher octaves of love and joy. So don't quit before the miracle happens. Continue down your path, doing the next obvious thing you intuitively know to do, and I promise you, you will You'll remember, Vic said this would happen, and it will happen. It will happen for each and every one of you, I promise you. Don't lose faith. Okay, my friends, if you find yourself in that void space where you've already let go of friends or are in the process of doing so and feel lonely, I have a gift for you. It's a free guided meditation to help you come in contact, very visceral, obvious contact with your higher self. This is the fastest way to really get to know who you actually are, is to reconnect with your source. It's a guided meditation. I made it myself. It's completely free. Check it out down below. It's right at the top of the description box if you'd like. With that said, have an amazing day, my friends. I'm always here. And so is this huge community of comments below the video. You're never alone.